In this video, I explain how to upload a simple sketch to an Arduino Micro. Ever wondered what having a home arcade would be like? Wonder no more. Watch my channel to find out how I built my arcade from nothing to what it is now. Watch gameplay videos featuring tips and tricks, arcade game repair videos, high score runs, innovative builds, and much more. It's Arcade Sunday. What you're looking at here is a control panel I made while I was living in a rented home, long before I had enough space for my own arcade. I had the Hyperspin running on a PC, hence the HS logo. I had an LCD monitor mounted to the wall. In fact, this was the same 4:3 monitor on a swivel bracket, so I can play horizontal and vertical games in their native orientation. The face buttons were originally all marked for like coin, config, escape, menu. And although this control panel is a shadow of its former self, it certainly had many hours of great and very hard playing. Since I no longer actually have a good use case for this control panel, I've actually installed this control panel at my office workshop, and a colleague and I played a lot of games on here, especially Mario Brothers. Check out my video entitled Office Arcade for more information about this when it was in use. Although this control panel gave me many hours of great service, it's now kind of retired for now, but it basically showcases how all my upright arcade machines are currently wired from a control input point of view into the Arduino Micro board. There it is, a little Arduino Micro. This basically just is wired into all the wires. Looks like a bit of a mess, and it is. Basically just end in a standard USB cable and plug into a PC and then become an HID keyboard input. Very good for MAME or any other emulator for that matter. So at this point you want to open your favorite browser, go to www.arduino.cc/en/software. You want to look for the version of the software that you require. I just use the Windows 7 and a newer zip file. If you have any of these other operating systems, go ahead and use those. So once you've downloaded the zip file, extract that, and then you will get another folder, and within that you will find Arduino Builder. Run that, and software will be compiled for you. Basically at the end of this, you're going to create a shortcut to this Arduino EXE. Once the software starts up, make sure your Arduino is plugged into your machine with a USB cable. Just make sure that if you go to Tools and then Port, that your Arduino unit is listed as the ticked item. If it's not, just select it at this point. We now want to load the sketch in. We go to File, Open, and then point it to the sketch. In this case, I've got demo joystick sketch, which I used for this particular control panel that I'm going to be working on now. Basically shows off each of the pins, what each pin does. I've just basically labeled it here: up, down, left, right, 1, 2, etc, and you can just go in and alter this or modify this as required. If you look further down, you'll see how it's achieved. For example, joystick down arrow, keyboard press 217 is the default entry for keyboard press down. You can go ahead and look up these on a table and then just change what you require or make any modifications to this particular sketch. Once you're complete with modifying or loading the sketch into the Arduino IDE, go ahead and go to Sketch Upload, or you can just click on the Upload button or arrow there. Go ahead then and compile the sketch and write it to the Arduino Micro. This can take some time, so just be patient. Another important factor to remember is under Tools, Board, make sure this is the correct board that you have selected here, otherwise you will possibly get compilation errors. Okay, basically it's saying done uploading, so it means now that the sketch has been successfully written to my Arduino Micro. It's a case now of basically just testing it out and mapping the buttons in MAME, or whatever other emulator you may want to use. If plugged it back into USB just for test purposes, you'll see now a Arduino Micro device will appear in Device Manager. This basically will be doing all of the inputs as you've just programmed. To test this, I guess you could open up a notepad. X is buttons 1, 2 and 3 for player 1 in my case, and then left and right is actually left and right. As you can see, the cursor is moving. So this Arduino IDE sketch will work for a 3 buttons per side setup, 2 joysticks, and then a coin button. Now it's on to some gameplay testing, I suppose. Okay, so to test, let's just get one of these games going. Elevator action. Okay, so we'd have to go through your, obviously your menu system, go to input general. I'm just going to put input this game for this test purpose. Go down to button 2. So now I'm pushing on the joystick. So let's return to the previous menu. Let's go return to game or return to machine. Put a coin in and I press 1 player start. So basically you'll see I'm playing with the joystick now. And yeah, it's all working via the joystick. This simple solution with Arduino Micro is actually used on all my arcade machines for input. I do have a CADE unit which I purchased from the UK some years ago. It's still actually in good working condition in one of my machines, but the Arduino Micro is way more accessible and just way more cost effective. The input lag is not really noticeable. I think it's just like the CADE, it's hardly noticeable at all. If you have any other questions about how I did this, or maybe would like a copy of the sketch that I use, let me know and I'll make it available to the public so that you too can build a control panel like mine, or an arcade machine, even better. Let's have some games of elevator action. Hope that was helpful. Cheers for now. It's time to play some elevator action.